And welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. We are waiting on Mr. Henry to pop on in. I didn't know if you wanted me to make some of this coffee here that I got from Kith and Kin.
I saw that. I need to go pick some up for sure today. So, do they sell it right there in the store?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And I love it. I love the coffee profile. Tastes like freedom. The region the coffee is from, America.
Yeah.
So,
you can't beat that one bit. That's a box everyone needs to get. So.
yeah. And Rob was a little worried because he's a retailer. He doesn't want to get into politics. You know, anybody wants a cup of coffee, he wants them to come in and he'll sell them a cup of coffee. But so he was a little nervous about doing this because he didn't want to offend anybody. But
yeah. Well, you know, unfortunately anymore, you offend everybody just opening your door and not even meaning to. So it's hard not to anymore. So
yeah.
But good for him. That's a neat deal. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, so. I love it. So we're gonna. I haven't opened the box yet, but I'm gonna be making some of that here this weekend.
We should take it up to Santa Fe and give it to the legislators, and just as a gift. So
get a case for Mr. Townsend, and he can take it up there.
He can pass it out, and everyone can enjoy a good cup of coffee.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So, well, how you been?
Great. How about you?
Hey, it's been a busy time of the year, and we've got hopefully two more football games to broadcast. One more we get to do video for.
Right.
But it's kind of exciting to see the Bulldogs back with a chance to get to the state game again.
Absolutely. And what a great deal that you've had 2 home games, right? I mean, so that makes it easier for you, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, for Bulldog fans to get to go watch the game. So I know after the game on Saturday, I thought, and I'm trying to remember who do we owe and who's got to come. Mm-hmm. And so I was glad that went out real fast that they owe us and they've got to come down here. So
yeah.
And once they said, I said, oh, I do remember that because I didn't get to go to that game because it's just on the other side of the world, it feels like. So it's not, but Farmington's a long way away.
Well, it's as far away from here as you can get and still be in New Mexico.
Right. Yes, sir.
Because any other direction you go, you're going to be in Texas or Arizona or Mexico.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But this way, you're still in New Mexico. There was one year, this was when Wilburn was with us, and I don't think we were doing TV. We were just doing radio, and we were playing Farmington here, and they had a punter who shanked the punt, and it went 3 rows up into the visiting bleachers.
Right.
And I think we were doing radio, and I think we were on the internet, so you could listen to the game on the internet. And so we kind of chuckled at that kick. You know, that was kind of funny. You know, not that he intended to kick it that way, not that we were making fun of the kid for kicking it. It was just
just happens.
It just happened. And I think a parent or an uncle or a cousin or something wrote an email and just chewed me out for laughing at the kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I wasn't laughing at the kid. I was laughing at the play, and I think in my smart aleck way, I wrote him back and I said, you have to admit it was funny.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes you just even got to laugh at yourself. I mean, I was a quarterback, and my dad still reminds me every day that we ran a little option, and I pitched it, and the other team got it and scored. And, well, did I think it was funny at that moment? No. But you look back and you think, well, that didn't make a whole lot of sense what I did. I'm sure Dad laughed in the stands. So, sometimes you just got to laugh at yourself and realize, whoops, and move on.
And you move on. But it is exciting. So we had the volleyball team win the state championship.
I know. That was awesome. As you and Mr. Phipps just said, I mean, what a tough way to do it, and those girls are, and my daughter having just graduated, I've seen this group of girls, and they're a good set of girls, and I'm excited for them because they deserve it. They've worked hard my daughter was on their little traveling team when they were little, and they started working hard then, and it's nice to see it pay off now for them. So a good group.
I mean, they lost the chance to be the district champs, so they had to fight back from that. Coach has to sit out because he tests positive for COVID. St. Pius, which has always been a tough team, comes here and it goes to 5 sets. Then who do they get to face in the first round? Goddard.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And they've always had tough times with Goddard over the years.
Sure.
Goddard's a good volleyball program, and they 5 sets. You know, and anyway, it was just a fun run.
Yeah.
And glad they were able to accomplish that. Then we've got the football with a chance to go back to a state game, and then the basketball season. And we were kidding with Coach Hodling, Jeff Hodling, who does our sideline.
Right, which is a
commentary.
good addition. That was neat. Y'all did that. I've always meant to tell you that. It's kind of cool. So
he does a great job, but he always stands behind the camera. We always want to like point the camera at him when they go to him,
right?
And he's like, you know, and I'll be on the headsets. Can you get Coach? No, I can't. He's over here. I think he's doing that on purpose.
Probably.
And I'll tell you what happened. We were at Deming, and I was running the camera for that one. We just had a 1 camera deal, and I'm in the window of the press box. And they went to Jeff, and he was sitting on a bench at the end of the football field. So I turned the camera, and he's sitting on the bench. And apparently he got a lot of grief over sitting.
Gotcha. Yeah. So the best way not to get grief, don't get caught.
Don't get caught. But I had Joby ask his brother. I said, okay, who's going to coach the basketball team next Saturday? Because they're scheduled to play in El Paso.
Right.
Because he's got to be the sideline reporter for the state championship game.
Yeah.
And but if we're playing for the state championship in football, that basketball game will be on Friday night.
Oh, okay.
So
well, that's good.
He can do both. And then regardless of who wins in Los Lunas Saturday, we travel.
Right.
So it'll either be at the Wool Bowl against Goddard, or it'll be at Los Lunas against them next weekend. So
okay.
So we'll only be able to do radio, and you'll have to pay for the other people to do the video. And I was talking to who was I talking to? If we play Goddard in the Wool Bowl, we think it's the first time that we've met Goddard in the state game since Landry Jones was quarterback.
That'd be the first time since I've been here, and I got here right after. I mean, the year Landry graduated, it's when I showed up. So I guess we met him. I remember the game. We met him in the bowl, but it wasn't for the state.
Right.
It was to go there. Remember the whole onside kick? That was an exciting day, and good thing we went for the Bulldogs. So that was great. But no, there's been some of those. But you're right. I don't remember ever meeting them.
Yeah.
In state.
I have talked to Goddard people. You remember that game? There was the onside kick, and the official said orange, but pointed the other way.
Yeah.
And of course he was corrected, and he didn't change his mind.
Right.
He didn't change the call. He pointed the wrong way.
Right.
And he got pointed. And I've had a couple of Goddard people tell me that's when we paid off the officials.
Really?
And I said, on that call. I said, how did that happen? Would they have a headset? Did they get a text? I mean, why did we wait till that moment to do the payoff?
It was the ball boy. It was on the ball. Little note, you know.
But I mean, people get so emotional, they get so invested in these games, and they start thinking, you know, why couldn't it just been that we recovered the onside kick?
Exactly. You know? Yeah. Well, and that was when there was that incredible run for us and Goddard, right? Either we were winning state or they were winning state.
That's
back and forth. And I guess was it the next year that Goddard went to state and they had to go to, was it Aztec?
Yes.
And they lost. And that was a big loss. I was really surprised because I think we all expected them to win that one. But other than that, I think it was for quite a while. Artesia was state champions, or Goddard, there was that pretty good run. So
it was.
That game was pretty always, and it still is incredibly important, so don't get me wrong. But during that time frame, both teams were so good, and it was fun. It
was either us or Goddard, and then the NMAA kind of changed up the bracket and the seeding.
Right.
And we weren't in, because Roswell was still in a different class.
Right.
And so it seemed like we were always on the same side of the bracket. Regardless of how the brackets turned out, we were always on the same side of the bracket. So we hadn't really been able to meet for a
Right.
state championship for quite a while. And the person I was talking to yesterday said, well, there were 3 of us from our district that got in there, so they couldn't put all 3 of us on the same
Right.
side of the
Yeah,
bracket.
yeah.
So they could only put 2 of them in there, and Goddard wound up eliminating Roswell. But so now we have a chance.
Right.
If we take care of business Saturday, and if Goddard has gotten some players back, they've gotten a lot better in the last couple weeks. So
Yeah. My dad, and everyone has to forgive me, I say it every year, he did graduate from Goddard, but this was. He's a huge Bulldog fan now because I live here, so let me put that out there.
Okay.
He has no loyalty to Goddard.
Yeah.
But that's always he watches and keeps up with them a little bit, and he was real surprised. He thought, man, I didn't think they would pull it off quite. And I said, yeah, they've gotten a whole lot better this season and
Yeah.
look pretty good. So who knows? Maybe could be a fun, exciting. It would be great, right, to have it down here and have one of those, someone out of our district for sure.
Yep.
At that point, someone in our district would for sure be state champs. And
Yeah.
and of course, it'd hopefully be the Bulldogs because that's
Who we
would it
root
not
for,
be?
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
So-
it'll be interesting. But both Artesia and Goddard have tough opponents this weekend,
Right.
and so they've got to can't think about that
Of
yet.
course
we
not.
can
Yeah.
because we're
Yeah.
just
Yeah, because we can think about it, all kinds of things, but probably drives coaches nuts. Quit talking, please.
So all right, we're going to take a quick break.